boy Stevie Jobber. It's your boy Dangerous Dude. The Dangerous Jobbers podcast. Play the one. The boy Stevie Jobber. Dangerous Dude. Stay dangerous.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm your boy Stevie Jobber.
I'm your boy Dangerous Dude.
And welcome to night 2 of WrestleMania predictions. Go back and see night 1 if you haven't seen it. But this is night 2. You know, if you're here for night 2, welcome. This is night 2. Hitting it right off the jump, I kind of predicted the match order myself. So if it's not, you know, it is what it is. I think they start with the street fight. I could be wrong, but some WrestleManias are known to start with the gimmick match.
Okay.
So I started with the Sin City street fight, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Also because I feel like didn't Drew and Damian and Punk, Seth have that? Wasn't that like the first match of the night last year?
Yes.
So I feel like, you know, you're familiar with starting.
Mm-hmm.
Go start. Set the tone. They're good tone setters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a street fight, you know.
Get the people going.
It's prerogative. Gets the people going. So they go out, they have a banger. I don't have a dog in a fight. I don't care who wins. I don't know who's gonna win. Hopefully it's good. You know what? I'll go Damian Priest.
Okay. You know what? I don't have a horse in the race either. Drew is doing this creepy thin man gimmick where and Drew has a thing for taking people's necklaces or their jewelry. So if Drew never took the necklace from Damian, I would have said Drew, but since he took the necklace from Damian, I'm gonna say Damian wins just based off of that alone, which is ridiculous to think that's how I'm basing my prediction on, but I'm gonna go Damian.
Yeah. What's your thing about like taking people's stuff, Drew? Like, what is that, man?
Such a klepto.
I don't know. Moving on. Something slightly more interesting. Did I really have that there? That shouldn't be there. Let's go women's tag match. Bailey and Lyra Valkyria versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And a match I'd like to call These Are the Girls That I Like at the Time.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it my own name, and the name I'm gonna give it is This Is How We Get Bailey and Liv on a WrestleMania card. Because I can't even say the girls I like at the time. It's just this is how we get two girls that we like at the time on the card. I'm gonna say the winner of this match, Liv and Raquel, based strictly and solely on the fact that I highly doubt that they're gonna give Lyra Valkyria a second title.
And we really, again, this is a match that really, this could have been on Monday night. Like this did not have to be on WrestleMania. Like
this could have been on Friday.
And honestly, I would have rather seen a tag match or even a 6-woman tag. This is how far this is how disinterested I am about seeing our Intercontinental Champion, uh, our Women's Intercontinental Champion, and a tag match against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez with Bailey. I would have rather seen the Secret Harvest and our Women's United States Champion, Chelsea Green, versus anyone. You could have gave me Michin, B-Fab, and a third. And I've been
Zelina Vega.
and throw Alexa Bliss in there. It's Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega. Perfect. And I would have been much more interested in that. This I am just as disinterested in this as I was in the tag match on night one.
Yeah.
Just not here for it. And yeah, I guess you gotta go live in Raquel. Because there's no way. Hunter, there is no way that you are about to look at this on paper and the tournament you just came up with tag teams you just came up with, and tell me Lyra Valkyrie, who couldn't get more fanfare than Dakota Kai, is about to win the women's tag team championships with Bailey, who you've also neglected all year. She just didn't get to get a heel turn like Naomi. She just had to be neglected.
Now you know what? If Bailey and Lyra Valkyria win the women's tag titles, Hunter gonna need to do some damage control.
Yeah, yeah, that part, that part, that'd be the only payoff. My God, that would be the only payoff. That would have to happen. This is the only way you could save this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, just total disinterest. Total disinterest. I think you follow that up with AJ Styles and Logan Paul.
Thank you for reading my mind.
I think you follow that up with AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You set the tone with the gimmick match, right? Fun gimmick match, get the people going, you know. We had this match nobody really cared for, but it
Get the women we like at the time out of the way.
right. right. You get to, you know, the guys get to see Liv, you know, whatever.
I plead the fifth.
Get out of there. And then we go to a really good match. This is AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. A really good match is gonna get us a lot of views.
Yeah, yeah,
This is
yeah,
how
yeah,
we
yeah,
pay
yeah, yeah.
Welcome to the part where we pay the bills.
There we go.
AJ Styles and Logan Paul are here to keep the lights on, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
AJ
and
Styles is gonna give you a banger, and Logan Paul is gonna get us some views.
yeah, and I feel like this is where they're gonna. This is where they pay the bills, and this is where they blow the roof off the place, in the sense of a word. I'll be honest here. In this match, there's no losers. The way I look at it, because the way you built it, it's built to the sense of you're both athletic. You have a great young guy in the ring with one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest of our generation.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter who comes out on top of this, there really is no losers because it's going to be an exciting match. Potentially is going to be the wow moment of the night. And then with that being said, because there's really no losers in this match, is it bad that in the year 2025 I'm saying Logan Paul should go over on AJ Styles? Is that bad to say?
Um, I don't think it's a bad thing to say. I don't think it's a bad thing to say. I will say this. I feel like
It's the wrong thing to say.
I'm in a very delicate place with AJ Styles' career
Hmm.
because these injuries have scared me into thinking that the next time might be the last time, or this might be the last time.
Yeah,
So I really want to handle his matches delicately
delicately.
from here. Um, so I'm not mad at Logan Paul winning
Hmm.
at all, because I feel like it would be the validating moment for Logan Paul.
Okay.
AJ Styles is the bar. You know, you've gone it with Seth Rollins, you've gone it with Roman Reigns, you've gone it with Ricochet, you've gone it with, you know, all of these different people, but AJ Styles is it.
Hmm.
It doesn't get any better than AJ Styles.
Yeah.
You go and you have a banger with AJ Styles, you have to be accepted.
Yeah.
That essentially is like our Floyd Mayweather. This guy's never lost. On the biggest stage, he's always had a banger.
Yeah.
It's what he's known for. He's like Jadakiss. I said this I said this to myself the other day. But I believe as a rap, as a I'm as deep as of a rap fan as I am a wrestling fan. And Jadakiss is top five to me because he's just never had a bad verse.
Hmm.
He just hasn't. I've never heard him have a bad verse ever in my life. I challenge you to present one to me. That's AJ Styles. He just can't have a bad match.
Hmm.
Just doesn't. Um so he's gonna go out there and we're gonna see how far into the pool Logan Paul can go.
Yeah.
And I guarantee Logan Paul has something ridiculous that they have concocted because they're both very high flying, risk taking kinds of guys. And at the level where AJ Styles doesn't have to do the stunt anymore,
Hmm.
I think they're going to pull off something extraordinary.
Yeah.
But that being said, I do wish AJ Styles in my heart to win
Yeah.
because
I mean, I feel like we all do.
it costs Logan Paul nothing, but it would do something for AJ Styles at this point in his career
Hmm.
because we've lost to the Cody Rhodes at Backlash. Like we've gone to the mountain and not made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This could be a time to where like we get this one, even if we get nothing else right about the ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, moving on. Penta, Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Fatal four way for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm very excited about this match, so I'm going to dress it up. You have the Intercontinental Champion. Some can argue it's been a lackluster run. I disagree. I think Braun Breaker has done a very good job at maintaining and elevating his name and his credibility.
Hmm.
Every time you see Braun Breaker, he is impressive. They don't let him out often, but every time you see him, he's impressive. He's never off the ball. He's speared. He's back on social media because he's for the crap at the Rumble, Spear and Speed, um, and he never fails to get a reaction on the mic. Never fails to have a bad promo. To have a good promo. Uh, Never has a bad match. He's been consistent, and he's always been a workhorse. It's just recently that he hasn't been on every show. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's simply because I think they're just protecting his value. He plowed through everybody.
Yeah.
You can't keep him on TV every week. Um, on the other hand, you have Penta,
Shiny
just
new toy.
recently debuted, but just recently debuted as what they're actually calling the second greatest luchador since Rey Mysterio,
Mm-hmm.
the bar in lucha wrestling, which I also believe deeply. And I believe he just hasn't gotten that shot. This could be that shot. Is it early? Yes, but was raised early? Yeah. And if you're gonna hold him to that standard, it would make sense. He's already selling the merch. He's already impressed that he's already in and out every week. He's a staple on the show. You know,
Mm-hmm.
why not? Why not give Penta the shot? Put it on his back. Then you got Finn Balor. Could be leader of the Judgment Day. The guy that's
Mm-hmm.
been struggling all year
Could
to
be.
get some sort of anything really. He's been taking L's all year, looking for some sort of validation. I think you can say the same thing for Damian Priest, but that's another conversation. Uh, but Finn has been deeply troubled,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing would validate him more than some gold right now. Because I feel like he's the embodiment of the anxiety that we get about Finn never having any validation anymore, drowning, having to claw his way to some sort of relevancy. Because now that the Judgment Day is not Finn Balor, what is Finn Balor? And he's frustrated. And I get it. Gold would be the perfect topping to this character right now. It would solidify him as what he wants to be in his head, which is the leader of the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but last but not least, my pick, Dominic Mysterio.
Yes.
Now, really hear me out, people. This guy, he's putting it together. Even though Finn hasn't been capitalizing on all the stuff he's supposed to, none of that really has been Dominic's fault.
No.
And even though Dominic doesn't win often, he's becoming more of a natural leader. He's becoming more of a voice of reason. He's not obsessed with being the leader. He's just obsessed with making sure the team wins and stepping up to the plate as many times as possible, facilitating. He's leading the Judgment Day without trying.
Yeah.
And I think in the back of my mind, it's because he's calculated. He's calculated and he's already got a plan for getting Finn out of the Judgment Day. I believe we should give him much more credit than we are. But that's part of the plan. He's going to come out with that Intercontinental Championship, the actual workhorse for the past 2 years, having more matches than anybody else, actually coming away with the workhorse championship. That's what I predict. What do you say?
So my choices were pretty much narrowed down to two. They were narrowed down to Penta and Dom. Now, either one, you could put the title on and it makes sense. Really, you could give the title to anybody in this match and it could make some kind of sense. But those two would make the most sense. And then you kind of look at it big picture way. Penta gets the title. The new guy gets the title. He can feud with Braun. He can feud with whoever. And it'll just make him more relevant a little bit faster.
Mhm.
Or you could give the title to Dom, have the workhorse take the title from a workhorse, put him on a higher pedestal, and then you have other areas to play with. He could go at it with Braun and sneak away as he usually does. You could have him kick Finn out of Judgment Day, and then he start a thing with Finn. You could move. It's an easier way to maneuver around the chessboard with Dominic as the champion than it is with Penta as the champion.
Mhm.
It's easier than if you keep the title on Braun. It's easier if you put the title on Finn. So because you have more avenues to go down with Dominic Mysterio as the champion, I feel like it's his time. I feel like for the last 2 years of you being the workhorse and you having more matches than anyone, I don't want to use the words deserve it, but you've done so much in this amount of time. Here's a reward for us believing in you and you doing well.
Mhm.
Here you go. Intercontinental champion. Make the best of it and let's go to work. So I'm gonna go with you and pick Dom.
I think they got big things planned for Dom.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had to sit through Braun Breaker. We had to sit through Shinsuke. Just like we
No,
kind of who
through
was before
Shinsuke.
who was before Shinsuke? Shinsuke was United States.
Yeah, yeah.
Who was IC before Braun Breaker?
Sammy.
Sammy. Anyway, we had to sit through Braun Breaker until they found somebody that really could go with anybody, that could
Mm-hmm.
really carry it. Dom has developed such a great that just that aspect of you can put him against anybody. There's so many
Yeah.
different ways to go. So many different ways to go. And
Mm-hmm.
Dom really has been doing this for years. Judgment Day's
Mm-hmm.
been on top since Edge left.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you really think about it. So Dom's been kind of in that spotlight with these guys with all this knowledge for years.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to put the ball in his hands, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, moving on to what I think is co-main event, but they're gonna have a breaker in the middle of them just to cool down the moment. I think next is Randy versus whoever. The question is who, and are they okay with losing to Randy Orton at WrestleMania? Will they lose to Randy Orton at WrestleMania?
Is this where I toss my layup?
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no
Oh,
idea. I'm
okay,
gonna
okay.
gauge where your head's at, and then I'm gonna riff off of that. I have no idea who's fighting Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
All right. Well, since this is
I
coming
have a
out,
prayer, but I want to hear where your head's at.
all right. Well, since this is coming out before the last SmackDown of WrestleMania,
Yeah,
before that there was only one of two options. There was Aldis, and then there was the other guy. We didn't get Aldis this past Friday on SmackDown. We got the hint of, hey, throw your gear on and let's go, but we didn't get the full confirmation.
yeah,
So that tells me right there, it's not gonna be Aldis,
yeah.
much to my chagrin, because I would have loved to see Aldis. But with these promo packages that have been dropping the last couple of weeks on SmackDown, and then we had this new one that just recently passed with the Book of Darkness, and then the candles around the chair. Who else have we known besides The Undertaker to use a chair and some candles? We knew a guy with a chair and a lantern, but not
Mhm,
with candles.
mhm.
There's only one person we've seen with candles as their thing. If Randy gets a match at Mania, I'm going to say my prayer and I'm going to hope it's Aleister Black. And then, like you said, are they okay with losing to Randy at WrestleMania? I don't think they lose to Randy at WrestleMania because if it's Alistair, Alistair's getting the win, and I'm gonna seal it on that.
How big would that be for Aleister Black to
Okay,
come back and beat Randy Orton? What an FU to Tony. I don't mean to
exactly.
take it there right away. I don't mean to take it there right away. Trust me, I'm not trying to be that person. I've been enjoying AEW recently. But uh the only knock anyone has ever had about the House of Black, about Alistair being in AEW, is why won't they actually do something? Why are they just there? Why won't they use Alistair? You know what I'm gonna do? You know what? Because that's my boy. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have him beat Randy Orton in WrestleMania. I'm gonna give him the equivalent of getting Seth Rollins when Cody Rhodes came here. I'm gonna put him on
Hmm.
that level that
Yeah.
quick, right away. You saw what I did with Penta. You thought that was something? Watch what I do with Aleister Black.
To quote Ricky Starks, the revolution will be televised,
Mm.
and it'll be
And you
televised at WrestleMania.
and you heard, I don't know if you heard, but if you heard the ending of that one NXT pay-per-view where the NXT crowd is chanting Tony effed up, could you imagine that chant at WrestleMania?
On the grandest stage of them all. It's one to do it at an NXT pay-per-view. You hear it at WrestleMania.
Because I feel like they'll hit it before they lock up. I feel like that's one of the first chants.
Yep, when the camera just pans out and then you just see
That big wide
Alistair
shot.
and you just see Alistair and Randy in the ring staring at each other. Randy's looking at the crowd and Alistair's just deadlocked in.
Right, right. I was just trying not to break, and Randy's embracing the Tony chant. He's cracking up.
Tony
He don't
effed
care.
up. Tony effed up. Yeah.
He's nodding to the camera. I think he did. I think he's hey, reaction. You hear
He,
that? Oh,
he,
I think we
he,
got him.
he just might have.
Oh man. Uh I really hope that is it. And Triple H, I will give him credit for this. Anytime that we feel like as a fan base, this is what we want strongly, he generally goes with that.
Yeah.
It happened with Cody. It happened with pretty much everything else. I'm not sure. I can't really. I want to point out specific moments, but they've always kind of just went whatever way we really felt like it should have went.
People were saying that Ricky Starks needs to be in WWE in some capacity. They got Ricky Starks and
They
brought
went.
him to
They got
NXT.
Penta. We
Penta was
really
another
wanted
one.
Penta. We got Penta and Ray Phoenix.
Hmm.
We really wanted Alistair when Alistair left, and it looks like we might get out. Well, definitely looks like we're getting Alistair. We're getting Alistair. But to
Hmm.
get Alistair versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania, oh my goodness.
That's like, you know what? I'll give you Alistair and then I'll raise you one and bring him at WrestleMania.
Mm.
John Paul Levesque know what he doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bad son of a gun right there. And Lee Fitton gonna get some amazing camera angles of it too. They doing
And
some work out there, them boys.
Merch is about to go crazy.
Crazy, crazy. Kids are gonna kids that have never seen the Undertaker are gonna be like, that's an Undertaker right there.
See kids running around with candles, you know why?
Because that's what he was gonna be, yo. The way Triple H was billing him in NXT, he was like the Undertaker. I
He was
remember
in.
Nikki Cross having her like weird breakdowns when Alistair was gone because he had like somebody because he found out like Johnny Gargano or somebody had like attacked him
Hmm.
and only Nikki knew.
Yeah.
Like they were billing this dude like a force of darkness. Don't get my hopes up because it's gonna end up being like R Truth or somebody. No, I'm gonna. Could you imagine? Okay. And then the match I think is going to be the breaker in between everything else. Um, wait, is that everything? Did we hit everything?
No, we have two matches left.
Uh, Rhea, Io, Bianca,
Hmm. And then the main event.
and then the main event. So we get the women's Rhea, Io, Bianca. What are your thoughts? I don't have a whole lot to say. This one's the easier one for me.
Yeah. The match that the match that should have been a singles match yet somehow turned into a triple threat because again we can't leave certain people off of a card. Um, Mommy is always on top, but not in this instance. I'm very very strongly hoping and still picking that Bianca loses and Io Sky wins.
Mm.
No particular reason. I just feel like what Io's doing right now, feeling like, they're making this more about Bianca and Rhea than they are about me when
Mm-hmm.
I'm the champion
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually a face
Mm-hmm.
should matter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm just going to go with Io on this one. And it mixes stuff up a little bit. I always pick Rhea.
I kind of wanted to be Bianca, man, just because I feel like she's been getting the short end of the stick. But also, like, I feel like Io. I feel like I would want Bianca to win just because they've been booing her, and I don't know why. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately have no idea why Rhea should be getting booed, if anything. So I feel like it's a weird dynamic that we even got here because truthfully, Rhea has no business
Yes.
being in this match. No
Yes.
business at all. You took your eye off the ball. You lost the match. You have sour grapes about it. You
Mm-hmm.
can't deal with the fact that you failed. So you forced your way into this match.
You can't deal with the fact that you can't beat Io. It's okay.
And like, it's your fault, bro. Like, that has nothing to do with me. Stay home. Like, you should have entered the women's tag tournament. Like, I don't know. Like, but this truly should be between Io and Bianca. And honestly, I didn't really see Bianca winning the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that she's not involved in the triple threat match kind of makes me feel weird about it anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna go Io Sky. I'm gonna go Io Sky. Let's put some sauce on Io Sky's name finally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't have very much to say about it, so I'll end on this. Um, Going back to the women's tag team championship match, you even could have put Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks in there, and I would have cared more about the match. Like even they had more of a legitimate case. At least they've like got heat on Twitter or something. Like I just don't understand. Like even they came off of Trish Stratus and Ronda Rousey and should be getting elevated to a different level and have been losing every single match. Like I just don't understand how we ended up here. But anyway,
Look what you
move,
did, Hunter. You turned him into R-Truth.
moving on. Like, anyway, moving on to the main event. I'm sorry, it's so frustrating. Moving on to the main event. Cody Rhodes versus heel John Cena.
R-Truth's childhood hero turned rogue.
The main event of night two for the undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena, the man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are the formerly billed the greatest of all time, arguably the greatest of all time. turned his back on the people, turned his back on the Make-A-Wish kids,
Turned his back on our truth.
turned his back on our truth and Lil Jimmy. And sided with the Samoans, with the final boss and Travis Scott as a witness. And he said he did it because he was abused by the people, because they crapped all over his title, because Cody Rhodes doesn't deserve to be a champion. He's a bag boy. He's Stardust, and it makes him sick. And then you have Cody Rhodes, the people's champ. Ironically enough, they've been saying he's on a lackluster run, but let me tell you, that bandwagon looked pretty full when John Cena turned on. And everybody seems to be on it now. But we're not going to talk about it. Exactly. Cody Rhodes, the man who's been doing all of the work that he can. The man has been trying to do right by the people. To do right inside, outside of the ring, do great business, do cheap, crappy talk shows about whiskey. We're not going to drink vodka. We're not going to drink what have you. He's been doing all the things to get all of the love from the people.
Kissing the babies and hugging the fat girls.
You know, he's president, you know. Not the current one, but like, you know, one that you could really believe. Like, he's Captain America, bro. He's Captain America when Superman went rogue. Standing his ground. Will he come out on top? Or will the DC universe defeat him? What say you?
We know how much I love Captain America. Why would you do this to me? I'm going to go. I've known where I was going to go for a long time. I'm going into WrestleMania on the side of the one person whose side you should be on in this endeavor. And all I have to say is, Hail Hydra. I'm with John Cena and the final boss at WrestleMania.
You're with the bad guys?
Ironically enough, remember when Cap turned evil and he became Captain Hydra? I guess I'm Captain Hydra right now.
I can't believe
because all of you made me do it.
You know, is it our fault? Arguably, I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. There's some things we're not talking about, man. Like, he can say it was us. And I guess it would be, because if we didn't believe in Jay, then he would have won it, the Royal Rumble, and he'd be challenging Gunther, and we wouldn't have a problem. But at the same time, you lost the Royal Rumble. So is it really, you know what I mean? Like, is it, I mean, you could have just challenged him straight up. You just kind of chose to take the easy way out. And truly, you've never liked The Rock. Not like that. Yeah, I mean, like, I mean,
But it makes sense.
but
Just everything is not what it seems.
when you got to get the bag and it's your last run, you'll
When
deflate some balls. I guess I did. I mean, you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
everything is not what it seems.
Mm,
You could get what you wanted in your wildest dreams.
mm.
You might run into some trouble if it goes too extreme. But just remember, everything is not what it seems. If you understand that reference, you're a friend of the show. If you understand that reference, you are a friend of the show.
I can't. No. Oh God.
I'm not
Oh
even gonna say
God.
where that's from. If you can understand where
Oh
that's
God.
from, just shoot me a message and let me know.
Okay. Okay. You know.
Again, we're doing things we've never done before. Never in my life did I think I would throw something like that into a pod about WrestleMania. And again, if you understand where that's from, message us and let us know.
Oh God. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna I'm gonna go. Uh, darn.
Just threw you completely in the left field, didn't I?
I'm gonna go John. I'm gonna go John, even though I don't really know where that puts Cody. Money in the
No,
Bank, King of the Ring.
no. I know exactly where it puts Cody
Mm,
because Cody would be in that position where he would be in the John position essentially, like not the heel John. He would be in the John Cena spot. I lost my title. I gotta grind and get back to it. I'm out of the title, but I'm never out of the title kind of thing.
hmm
It can,
Another year of setbacks.
yeah, play up to the gimmick.
Hmm
And we know John's not going to have it for a full 365 days. We know he's not taking it to the next WrestleMania. He can
Right.
win it somewhere else and have it mean something. He could win it at SummerSlam and it could mean something. He could win it at TLC or whatever and
hmm
have it mean something.
hmm So it's not super like we're okay. We're okay
Yeah.
with John. Um. All right. Well, yeah, I gotta go John only because I don't see John in the other events as a heel. Like face John Cena would have done all the things.
Mm-hmm.
He would have done Money in the Bank. He would have done King of the Ring. Um, because as fans, we would have wanted to see him do everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's your last run, have all of the things, do all of the things. Um, Not heel John Cena. He clearly does not care about anything that we want. Um, so I think he has to win because then I don't have to compete in those things.
Yeah, that and honestly, I think if they wanted to turn John face by the end of the year, I have a rough estimate of how you could do it.
Mm,
We'll discuss that at a later date, but I have a rough estimate of how you could still have a heel champion John Cena, but still get a face John Cena when it's all said and done.
I think there's a turnaround. I think there's a
Yeah.
turnaround. But that concludes night two. I feel like we were pretty much on the same spot about everything. You had Logan, I had AJ.
Mm-hmm.
You had, do we both have Dom?
Yes. I had Dom slash Penta, but yeah, I have ultimately went with
Dom
Dom.
slash Penta. Um, I have Randy. You have Alistair.
Yes.
We both agreed on the women's tag match. Uh, were we at odds on the Sin City Street fight?
Uh
I threw
no,
Damien out there. Do we
I
both
said
pick
Damien.
Damien?
Damien.
So there you have it. Because we both said EO as well.
Yes.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes our night 2. If you made it this far, thanks for rocking with us. And if you see the link in the description, there's a link tree that has the link to all of our links. DangerousDriversWebsite.com, all the IGs, the TikToks, the YouTubes. If you're listening to us on Spotify, we have the YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, we have all the other listening apps possible. So rock with us, like, subscribe, tell us how you feel, tell us what you disagree with, what you agree with. Did we trash a match too hard? Is there a match you're looking forward to? Do you have a different pick for Randy? Maybe Savio Vega. Who knows? Let us know.
Or Little Jimmy.
Or Little Jimmy. Get his revenge. But I've been Stevie Jobber.
I've been Dangerous Duke.
And this has been the Dangerous Drivers Podcast WrestleMania predictions. Please stay up, stay blessed, and Duke, as always,
stay dangerous.
People have been asking me to be the best in the world. Why, Eddie, why?